Hey friend, how's it going? So I hope that you are having a good day. So today I'm going to go ahead and talk about two of my street photography shots. And if you want to help support my channel as well as my street photography, be sure to subscribe, follow, or just like this post on Instagram because these videos go up on Instagram as well as YouTube. But for my first shot, it is called Sunset Crowd, this shot right here. So one thing that I like to do in this channel is that I like to speak about my street photography, and every single one of the shots, I usually want to express something by taking that shot. So I usually explain my shots so you guys get some inspiration for your street photography, and it maybe makes you think about different ways of taking pictures whenever you're out doing street photography. But this one right here, Sunset Crowd, this is actually in New York City, and obviously it's for sunset. So you can actually see, like, right at the end of this photo on the left side, you can see that there's the vessel. The vessel in New York City is right there, and right behind that is the mall. But these people are sitting on the steps leading to a road that's right there, right at the edge of Manhattan Island. And then on the other side of that road is like where they end up stationing the subway cars that go under the island and everything. So it's just like a big railroad and everything, but you can see the sunset going on over whatever this city is right here. But you can see the sunset going down, and this is one of the points that I was so whenever I wanted to take that sunset shot, I actually ended up going across the street and taking this picture right here. And whenever I faced back, after I had already taken the picture that I wanted to take, I ended up going back, and I ended up seeing everybody just congregating there and waiting for the sun to go all the way down and everything. So I saw, as soon as I saw everybody sitting there, I was like, okay, this is just like Where's Waldo? If you've never seen that book, it's this book right here. It's multiple books. But basically, whenever I was a kid, what I really like to do is that I like to obviously look for Waldo and everything on these books. But one of the major things that I like to do was see the interactions of different people that are on the page. Like every single one of these people on pages are having like crazy interactions with either dragons or mythical creatures, or it's always a huge scene to keep your eye, so you can look at the image and like try to figure out where Waldo is and everything. But as you're looking at it, you see all these interactions, and this is kind of like what inspired this shot right here. Whenever I saw everybody just sitting there, I was like, okay, this is just like Where's Waldo. It's like everybody is just doing their own thing, and it's just like a million things going on in this picture, yet you can interpret it as however you want. But that's what I wanted to express with this. This is like my Where's Waldo picture. There's definitely a lot of really different interactions going on. People taking selfies, people eating pizza, people just sitting down on their phones, somebody that looks like they're bored, and the other person is just waiting for the sunset. There's just so many interactions, and that's what I love about street photography, that it's so genuine sometimes, especially like this, or especially whenever you try to make it as genuine as possible. So this is this shot right here. And for the next shot, it is called Morning Silence, this shot right here. So this was actually in Dallas, and I ended up taking this picture while I was walking around the streets. So obviously. So for Morning Silence, what ended up happening is that I ended up getting to Dallas like around 5:30 a.m. and I was taking pictures all around because right now in Texas it's extremely hot. I think today it was like 107. So it was, anytime. So it doesn't reach 107 till like 5 p.m. right? Not on the daily. But anytime before that, like especially in the mornings, like before 12, it's bearable. You can be outside and it's like 94. Yes, that sounds terrible, especially for people from Europe. 94 is like extremely hot. But for us, 94 is like, oh, okay, it's a break from 100. But basically, I ended up getting there for 5:30, and I ended up shooting all the way till like 11, 12 o'clock, and then I stopped. I was like, okay, I'm done. It's getting way too hot. And plus that day it had rained and everything, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna call it off now and then just go home. And I did what I could. But from 5:30 all the way to 11 or 12, I was doing street photography that whole time. But whenever I got there at 5:30, I ended up walking around, and in this building, I wanted to capture the depth. obviously, because you can see all the way to the very end right there. And there's like security guards that end up stationing in front of this building to, like, I guess help people get in the building or whatever. But I really like that depth right there, and since there weren't that many cars out, because it was like super early already, it was just perfect, because I was able to capture the person that's on the left right there, right before it leads to the leading lines. And then there is another person that's extremely blurry, because that's not the person that I'm focused on at the very end right there. But you could see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pillars going towards that end. And then there's the lines on the ground. And then there's also the line, which is like kind of like a huge, like, thick line on the left side, which is like the building. But what helps it is that there are like pieces of light coming in, since the light's coming in and the morning is starting basically. But on that building you can see the shades of light, kind of like makes an opposite to the pillars of light to the right. So there's the pillars of light, and then there's a shade of white on the marble, I think that's marble, on the marble on the left hand side. And it just accents really well. And that's basically how my mind sees street photography sometimes. Like, I'll see a light on one side and then I have to match it with something else in the other, just to make like a tunnel going towards something. But in this case, the main subject was actually the guy standing on the very left right there, looking towards the other person, that because there is somebody getting out of a car right there, and somebody else is receiving them and helping them get in the building basically. But that is basically what I wanted to capture here. I wanted to capture that depth, which is, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see that a lot of my pictures are about depth. But yeah, that's basically the shot. And all of these shots I end up putting them in color and also in black and white. And that's how I put all of my Instagram posts on Instagram. But yeah, these are the 2 photos that I wanted to talk about today, guys. And honestly, I hope you guys have an awesome night, and I'll go ahead and catch you guys next time.